All right, friends, it has been getting chillier out there and we have entered the month of September. So it is time to start getting spooky, to start getting whimsical, to start wearing orange and red and brown and embracing pumpkins and apples and scarecrows and all of that good stuff. It's time for some fall thrift flips. So I have a stack of items that I have decided will be transformed in our video today. At least hopefully most of them will be transformed. And I have a stack of fun fall themed fabrics to add to these, to amp them up, to make them more fall. And we're just gonna try and hit the brief fall themed clothes that will go with the rest of my wardrobe. If you're new here, I'm Christina and I love all things thrifty and crafty and naturey. And along with that, I am all about sustainability and low, zero waste. And that is how I like to do my crafting. So I want to make sure that I'm learning something from the project. I'm making it in a way that's reversible if possible, if it's a risky move. And then also making sure that I'm mindful about how I'm transforming these pieces so that they'll fit with the rest of my clothes, because really ultimately what I'm here to do is build my dream wardrobe in a zero or low waste way as much as possible. So let's get into our contestants. So first we have this red striped Route 66 t-shirt with a collar. I like the buttons, the snap buttons. I love the color as I'm trying to embrace red more this year. I think it goes with this theme. So my thought for this top is maybe some apple patches of some kind. I think that would make it feel very fall. Next up is this kind of purpley fake denim vest by AT Denim. This has been in my giveaway pile back and forth for years now, and it really is like the shape. There's something with the shape that's kind of weird, but I think if I add some patches or some interest on it somewhere, that maybe that will take my eye away from the shape and I won't be so obsessed with it. Okay, next we have this just black t-shirt. It's Eddie Bauer. I've had this one for a while, but I don't really wear black. This is like the only black thing that I will wear, and that's because it's got this cat on it and I can't bring myself to get rid of it. So I've put this in my giveaway pile multiple times, but I think that if I put some fun patches on it and maybe one other cool detail with some cool yarn perhaps, that this will become an interesting enough t-shirt to last me through spooky season and be worth keeping in my wardrobe. Okay, and then the last thing that I'm hoping to thrift flip in this video is this amazing fall themed blanket. I feel like this is the most exciting one for me. And I got this, of course, at Goodwill for, $3-4 bucks a few weeks ago, and I've just been thinking about what to make it into. I have lots of ideas, but I don't think it's big enough to make pants or overalls. So I think the best choice right now is to make it into a shawl, which was Karis's suggestion actually. For our fabrics that we're using to upgrade all of these items, I've got this green fall themed fabric. It's got scarecrows and pumpkins and birdhouses and sunflowers. I got this along with this red gingham, kind of maybe cottony, like woven fabric. I got both of these, plus this yarn that I will hopefully get to use as well today in some of these projects. So all three of these I got in like the scrappy area at my secondhand craft store, and it was $2. I also purchased this beautiful, also kind of fall themed fabric. I love the colors. They're just so bright and fun. It's got scarecrows and pheasants, and there's like a goose. Some of it's a little ominous, but I think it's a good fabric for something in this project, I do believe. And so I got this. This was $6, and it's 1.5 yards of fabric. We also have just a little fat quarter that I got at another time for probably $1 or less. and then this Debbie Mum fabric that I got many years ago on eBay, probably for like $5 or $10, and it's got some cool, fun fall theme stuff on it, corn and apples and horses. Oh my. So I think those will be enough kind of fall motifs. Just a plug here for all secondhand craft stores. You are amazing. There are 3 or 4 in my area, and they are just incredible. They're all different in their style, but I believe they're all nonprofits, which is so cool. They take donations, which is cool. And also it's so cheap. And right now, there's, you know, a demand for craft stores that aren't unethical, I suppose, to shop at. So, check in your area what they've got. All right, do we get it all? Did we do all the materials? I think so. What do we do next? What comes next? All right, get out of here. Okay, so I think that the next step is to cut out some patches of some of these fabrics, like especially this one and this one, and see what might go where. There are some truly spooky squares on this one. I didn't realize there's like this pilgrim family that is just too much. And then like the goose on the table. I feel like this will be fun for Christmas though. Might be just a little bit haunted. I don't want to, but I'm gonna iron these actually so that I actually get some accurate shapes. All right, now we slice. So I want this patch to be pretty big. This is the one for the black t-shirt. So I'll cut some kind of generous patches. Okay, patch number 1. Okay, so since I'm already kind of thinking about it, I'm going to start with the purple vest and start placing these patches on it to see where I want them. I'll probably pin some down and try it on a few times and get kind of an idea of how this is going to shake out. So let's do some pinning and trying. Love parts of it. So I think that this is better than this, and this is better than this, and I do like this. So I'm going to leave that. I'm going to leave the little sunflower on the back. I'm going to try cutting out another row of pumpkins for this side instead of the leaves, and maybe I'll move the leaves, but I don't know. I feel this feels kind of random down here. So yeah, let's do a little switch. We'll do pumpkins on the top. I'm gonna leave the crow, I think it's cute, and the sunflower, and we'll cut another panel for the other side of the back. Okay, Another hydration reminder. All right, I feel like it looks more tasteful now. I like the pumpkins on the top. I think the little crow is cute. And then we don't need a ton going on down here because of course back here, there's kind of a lot going on. So the only other thing is whether I should switch the patch at the top to one of these other ones that I have. But I think that that is a really good start on this one. So next I'm gonna do the pattern placement or the patch placement for the t-shirt before I sew this. So my vision for this t-shirt was to have a cool big patch on the front, maybe a tiny patch on the back, and then I was thinking about doing a scalloped crocheted edge all the way around. The only thing is that I'm not sure how it'll work with this stretchy fabric without a hem here. Maybe I need to add a hem. I've also never like crocheted onto a non-crochet garment, so I think you have to start with like a blanket stitch or something so that you can crochet onto it. So I'll have to watch some videos on that. But first, let's just look at these patches. Speaks to me. Let's find out. I really could have done a better job cutting this. I like the size of this one. The upside down goose is kind of silly, but it's not like the first thing you see. This one is really cool. I just love these colors. They're so vibrant. There's also this little guy, which maybe I'll put on the back or I'll put on some other garment. I just thought it was so friggin' cute. I had to cut it out. Also like these colors. Everything looks so good against the black. Okay, and then the last one. This one's kind of huge. Okay, let's pin this one on. This one's gonna be really hard to sew because it's so stretchy. So this might be a place where fusible interfacing would be nice. I have just the one-sided interfacing, unfortunately, so it will make it more sturdy so that it will keep its shape a little better, but I think it's still gonna be a problem getting it onto this fabric. Okay, let's try this. Okay, I feel like this is kind of the perfect size. I think I placed it pretty perfectly as well. Oh, this is gonna be so cute. I'm finally gonna wear this t-shirt. Yes. Okay, so yes, this is gonna need interfacing, and then I might hand stitch the border. And then we're gonna figure out this crochet thing on the bottom. So I'm gonna take a little bit of a break and we'll be back with hopefully some more ideas, some more creativity, some more crafting. So don't go anywhere. Okay, I ate some food. I watched some videos on how to crochet onto fabric. I struggled with finding a good one. I watched an episode of The Good Witch to get feeling whimsical. And now I am ready to get back to it. We are almost out of daylight, so we're just gonna kind of get a head start for tomorrow on some of these little projects. So first up, I'm thinking this red t-shirt. And so I said that I wanted to do like an apple or something. And then I was like trying to figure out how to do it. And I was like, it'd be too much red on red. But now I'm thinking if I just did like a square of white-ish fabric and then put the apple on top of it, then that would be cool. But then the other thing is it an apple? Is it a full apple? Is it an apple with a bite out of it? Is it an apple with a slice and then there's like a slice next to it? Is it an apple that's like sliced in half where you can see the inside? Is there a worm in this apple? So yeah, lots of possibilities. So I think first step is to sketch. Do a couple sketches, just some small sketches, just to get an idea of what I want it to look like, and then we'll get it to scale and have an idea of how much of this space we want it to take up. So first I drew like a cross section of an apple, kind of getting like the perfect apple shape with the seeds and the leaf. Then I tried one with a bite out of it. That was a little more tricky. And then I tried one that was just a closed regular apple. And I decided to add a worm just for some interest. I think all three of these are super fun, and maybe I'll make one of each and put them all on there somehow. I did draw a little bit of a sketch of the shirt and placed the patch around in some spots, and I'm glad that I did this because I felt like I got a little more creative than I would have been. So I thought maybe one on the arm, although the arm is quite small. Maybe one on the like breast area, although we have this V that's pretty deep. But the idea that I came up with that I thought was pretty cute is on the bottom corner putting like a little pocket. So making this patch actually a pocket. I think that would be really fun. So I think that's the route I want to go. So first I'm gonna make some samples of the apple and the size and figure out exactly what size I want it to be, and then I will make a cool little pocket on the shirt. I think that's the best way to do it. And then maybe I could add some little apples around the rest of the top, or even I was thinking like a worm on the arm or something like that. So I want to kind of, something that I've been trying to do more of is like pay more attention to the details and making the item like flow more and like make more sense. So connecting kind of the idea from like this part of the piece to the other part, which is like why I was incorporating patches on the back of the previous two items. So we'll finish, obviously we'll do the patches and all of that hopefully tomorrow or this week at some point. All right, hello again, friends. It's been a rough week, a rough several days. So I haven't really felt like talking or crafting or filming, but I've been trying to push through to get this video because it is almost the equinox. And I want to wear these clothes, and I know that I will feel better if I do these things. So here I am doing them. So I did a lot of things. I based it on all of the patches to the vest and the main patch for the t-shirt. Well, I interfaced them first and then I basted them on, and then I did some quilting on the ones on the vest because I liked where they were. And I started experimenting with the bottom of the t-shirt and how I'm gonna add crochet to it. So we'll get to that, but now I'm focusing on the apple. So I just made my apple pattern pieces. We have 3, and I grabbed out all of the fabrics that I think could work, and now I'm just trying to figure out which fabric to use for what, and then cut them out and find out if it works. I think I'm also going to interface maybe all of these pieces. Not sure yet, but definitely some interfacing. So I've got, this is my only brown fabric that I have. So this will be the stem. I've got this little green gingham fabric from my jumpsuit project, and I think that's enough fabric for a leaf. I've got a couple of different red fabrics there's one with polka dots, one that's just plain, and one with like little flowers on it. I'm not sure which one I like the best yet. I was thinking just plain, but I feel like the polka dots could be cute. And then for the back fabric, for like the actual pocket, I have two different ones. This one's more cream and this one's more straight up white. And I think that the stripes on the shirt are more straight white, so this might be the better option. But let's cut out some pieces and do some puzzle making, jigsawing, if you will. So I think that I'm just gonna leave all the edges raw except for the pocket itself. Yeah, so there doesn't need to be any seam allowance or anything. I think I'm going to cut it with my regular fabric scissors now, and then maybe I'll pink around the whole thing once it's done. I think that would be cute to have the little scalloped edge. Don't tell anyone I'm not pre-washing this tiny little sliver. Very cute. And then the last thing is the pocket. So this one's gonna have to be folded over for a hem. All right, so this is 3/4 of an inch. We'll do just 1/2 inch on the other two sides. Okay, so now I'm just trying to find the perfect placement for this before I add the interfacing, which I think will hold it all together. I just can't decide what goes in front. The leaf, the stem, leaf, stem, leaf, apple. All right, stem, apple, leaf, stem, apple. All right, let's just try it. Moment of truth. Okay, I guess that's how I want it. Yeah, last thing is to cut this out and then we sew it onto here. But I still have to sew this top line of the pocket real quick. And then we're cooking. Pocket's ready. All right, it came out kind of funky on the bottom, but I feel like the pinking is kind of cute. And now we just sew it down. Voila. All right, so I spent some time in the mirror playing with the patch and moving it around, and I think, what is that? I think I've got it where I want it. I decided to put this other patch down here as well. I was gonna put it on the arm, but I think it'll look cuter down here. It doesn't look cute how it is right now, but it'll overlap a little bit. I think that'll be cute. So this one, I just need to sew this down and then this one will be done. So we'll see this one in the reveal. Okay, I'm really at that point in this project where I feel like it'll never get done. But I did try on the vest and it made me feel a little better because I do like it. So we're just gonna keep going. We're gonna go to the black t-shirt and this crochet edge. So I need to experiment a little bit more. I tried a couple different ways. All I know right now is that I'm definitely gonna use a blanket stitch. I just learned how to do this. Can't believe I didn't learn it sooner. The blanket stitch, but I'm gonna do it the rest of the way around, and then I just need to figure out a way to do it in this, to make the scallop what I envisioned. Right now it's not quite what I was envisioning. I want it to be a little bit more like delicate looking. I don't know, maybe this yarn is a little too thick, but I feel like it's the perfect color, and it's like a nice cozy feel for fall. I'm gonna experiment a little bit more with this, and then I will blanket stitch the rest of the way around, and then I will let you know how I decide to stitch this scallop edge. So this is just gonna be some trial and error time. So I'll meet you when it's figured out. Okay, so that took what felt like forever, and it looks like crap, but I'm hoping that once I put the crochet on, you won't really notice the stitches themselves as much. So I did all that playing around, and I think what I decided, we'll see how it goes once I get into it a little more. I think I'm gonna do, instead of doing like a scallop where you do like taller and taller stitches and then shorter and shorter, which is what I was planning to do, I think instead I'll just do like a chain and skip a stitch or two. So for example, I'll start at the beginning, I will chain 4, I think, and then skip 1 stitch. We'll try it that way. Skip 1 stitch and then slip stitch it into the next stitch, and then 4 chains, and just do that all the way around. There's so many stitches though, so I think I might skip 2 instead, because it's gonna be a while. But yeah, I think that gives it more of like the delicate look, and it still feels kind of like fuzzy and warm. So let's give it a try. I'll let you know if I change my mind. Oh, just one hot tip. I started on the back. I started stitching on the back. So I think that was the right move, because I kind of got into a better groove and had a better like stitch length once I got to the front where it matters, except that I ran out of thread and I messed this up. Oh, hopefully the crochet will cover it up. We won't notice it. All right, anyway, here we go. Okay, so I finally decided how I'm gonna do this. So I need to frog it all now, of course. So we're gonna do 5 chains. So I'm just gonna show you how I'm doing it in case you're curious and more of a visual learner like me. So I just got on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chains. And then I'm going to skip a stitch and slip stitch into the next stitch, and then 5 chains, 3, 4, 5. I look at my stitches. I'm gonna skip 1 and slip stitch into this, and I'm gonna do that forever all the way around this top. Wish me luck. Okay, I made it all the way around, and I did pretty well. It looks pretty much how I wanted it to. The only thing is that one spot is messed up, and of course it is exactly in the middle of the front here, right here where I switched threads. So I'm gonna try and fix this by adding some threads instead of going back, because that'll be a lot. And then I still need to sew on this one patch on the back, and then this one will be done. So we'll see this one at the end. Okay, so I think it's time for the most exciting but also the most scary part of this project, and that is this blanket thrift flip. I'm planning to make it into a shawl, and if that gets messed up, we have other options as well. But the original plan right now is to make it into a shawl. And I think that I can do it just by folding it in half, cutting down the front, just the middle, and then sewing around that, sewing the arms. I think it should be that simple. I did see online that using like a cup to make a circle or something circular to make a circle in where your neck will go is helpful, and then maybe rounding it out a bit. So we'll try that. And if that doesn't work, we'll make it into something else, hopefully, because it's only one cut, right? I think I'm gonna give the back just a slightly more length than the front, just to be safe, because I definitely don't want the front to be longer than the back. I hate when that happens on my tops, and it usually makes me feel like I either have a hunchback or like my shoulders are really big. So we definitely want the back to be at least the same length. So we'll overcompensate just a tiny bit on that. Okay, so first let's just measure the whole thing. See how much fabric we have. (28 inches times 2, which is 56 inches. I'd say we're just gonna use the pattern itself, I think, because it's so close. We'll just cut it right down the middle of this line. Okay, and we're gonna stay, I think we're gonna cut it to here. So we have a couple of inches of leeway. So we'll cut it to this line. And again, I think it's helpful when you have a pattern that has lines like this to use the lines, you know, to your advantage. All right, now going back now. I'm just now realizing I should have used a stay stitch on this because it's like a thick woven fabric. So if you're doing something similar, a stay stitch just on either side before cutting would probably be a good idea. Okay, so then here is where I'm gonna put my circle. Okay, and now I will try it on to see if I ruin this or not. What do we think? Did I ruin it? I love it. It's awesome. Okay, I just need to do the finishing touches, which are binding this edge, which I think I'll do with a single or double fold, and then deciding on the sides if I want to enclose them and whether I would enclose them like here, which I've seen before, with just like a few like inches of stitch, or at the edge. I'm not sure. Let me think. I do think that I overcompensated just a little bit too much. So maybe I will bring this neck back even just a tiny bit more, open my circle a little more, because the back is just a little too low now. So it feels like it's kind of dragging back. So I'm just gonna make this circle that I already made just a little bit bigger. And then I'm gonna finish these edges first before I mess with anything else, because they're gonna start falling apart. I mean, they already are, because of the nature of the fabric. So because I said earlier I skipped the stay stitch, I'm gonna do that before I fold over the edges. I'm gonna stitch along the edge, maybe like a ½ inch, and then fold it over and enclose it. I think that'll make it a little cleaner and preserve it a little better. Might need to just leave it a single fold on the neckline. So we'll just do a double fold on the front seams, and then the neck we'll leave the single fold, and maybe we'll zigzag it. All right, now we just do the zwoop zwoop. Yay, it's looking so good. I am so excited. It's so cozy. All right, so I decided that I'm gonna leave the arms, the sides open for now, and just wear it a couple times and see if I really need them to be closed. I don't think it's necessary now that I took the back down a little bit, so it feels like it'll stay on my body. But I do think it would be cute to put like a button or some sort of little closure on the front here of So it's kind of like cape vibes if I want it to be. All right, so this one I'm going to finish up, and this one we will see in the reveal. Is that it? It's 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's it. I think we did it. Okay, so let me put on the final touches to this and everything else. We'll press it all and make it look cute. And we'll see it all for the results.